Hi everybody. Okay, some weeks ago I did a pep talk for the artists, and it was supposed to be part 1 and I never got to do the part 2, so this is not really a pep talk, or it could be if you wanted to. I just want to talk about artists and confidence. Anywho, okay, I come across a lot of people who show their artwork in the group and in person, and a lot of the times they are very critical of their artwork. And as artists, it is absolutely normal. I put my glasses on so I can see myself. Oh, there I am. Oh, okay. As artists, it is very normal that we're critical of our work. But when it becomes to the point that nothing is good enough, and you may say, oh, I'm just a perfectionist, then you got to start asking yourself why is nothing good enough. Because, like, look, if somebody, just think of it this way, if somebody showed you, let's say me, I showed you the artwork that you did, I'd say, look, this is my artwork, what do you think? Most likely you're going to say, I like it, it's nice, because you're seeing it through somebody else now. You're seeing it through, it's a different perspective that you're getting because somebody else did it. Especially if somebody, who's been doing this for a long time, so obviously they've got to know what they're doing, right? Well, you got to stop right there and start believing in yourself, and think to yourself, what is it inside that painting that you don't like? Because each time you paint something, especially if it's abstract or if it's expressionist art, it's usually, well, not usually, but it's always coming from within. You are expressing something from inside. So obviously it's a reflection of you in the artwork. So think about it. What is it in that painting that you can associate with personally that you don't like? And work on that. And I often have a bit of fun with people when they, very rarely it happens, but you do get people who will comment on one of my videos and say, it's terrible, it's disgusting, it's ugly, whatever. And then you get like 1,000 other people or more who like it and think it's nice because they're looking at it as an expressive thing. Some people say, look, it's nice, I like it, but it's not me, it's not my taste, but it looks nice for somebody else, and that's fair enough. But what I do often say to those people who just want to rubbish my art or somebody else's artwork, I will just say to them, okay, so look at that art, and what is it in that painting that you are associating with personally that you don't like? In other words, what is it about yourself that you don't like? Okay, so then you have a chance, once you get some clarity about that, you have a chance then to work on that and start fixing that within you. I often say, beautiful people see beauty in everything. And ugly people, not ugly physically, but ugly, in their heart and their soul, they just can't see any beauty in anything and anywhere. Everywhere they look, everything they touch, it's disgusting and it's ugly, But then everything that they do is perfect and wonderful. So that's another story. That's another video and another talk. So before I became an art therapist, I didn't understand a lot of this. All I knew was that my art was, a lot of the times, I used to do realism, and then I would try and get it perfect, and I would get annoyed at myself if I couldn't get it perfect. But realism, it's just what it is. You're trying to make it look realistic. But when you're doing abstract art, you really have to let go and just whatever happens. Even if you've got an idea and he becomes something else, and it turns into something completely different. Just look at it and observe it and see yourself in there. Find yourself in there. Even if it's a mess, you know, find yourself in that mess and think, what is it in my life that this expression is trying to show me? And then find something, one thing that you like in that painting. One thing that stands out and is pretty and is beautiful. Find that, and you know, that's an indication there is beauty in everything and everywhere around us, you know. So that's important to know. So don't let anybody steal your dream. You may just be a hobby artist. You may just do it once every now and then. It's your thing. It is your expression. Don't let anybody steal that, because it will happen, and it happens all the time. You will get that one person who will criticize you on something that you did first time in your life, and you're really, really happy. We've all had those moments, you know, you've done something and you're so happy about it, and you will get that one person who will just cut you down and say, no, it's just terrible. Look at that person, okay, and do what I do. Just look at him and say, okay, look at this painting and tell me what you can see in that painting that associates with you and your hatred towards it. What is it? And then tell them, you need to love yourself. Learn to love yourself, okay? And I'm saying this to every person out there, whether they're artists or mechanics or pilots or whatever you want to do, doctors, you know, we all have insecurities. And there's not one person in the world who's not insecure about something. The ones that look most confident are probably most insecure. They're just not showing it because they're so embarrassed and ashamed. So they won't show it. Okay? So look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. It's hard. It's going to be hard the first time, because the first time you do it, you know, that little voice in the back of your head, maybe your grandma or an auntie or somebody in school years and years ago said something nasty to you. You're going to hear that voice. It's going to come then, and you're going to think, oh my God, where did that come from? I totally forgot. I must be ugly. I must be fat. I must be, you know, stupid, whatever. And then you look away. I'm telling you, don't look away. If you have to look away, you've got 1 second. Look away, look back in on that mirror, at that mirror, and just look at yourself and say, I love you. You are beautiful. You are smart. You're intelligent. You're good at, and think about all the things that you're good at. I'm good at this, 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 and that. And the things that you're not good at, oh wow. You know, human beings have got the most complex and the most amazing brain. 90-year-olds can learn new things, learn new skills. You know, my mum's 72. She learned how to use a computer. Now she's got a computer, a laptop, an iPad, an iPhone. What else? She's got all kinds of gadgets. You know, she learned that only a couple of years ago. So there's nothing stopping you to learn if you want to learn. If you don't want to learn, who cares? Not everybody's interested in everything, you know. So that's all I want to say. I don't want to drag on and on and on. There's many, many, many videos and audio books that you can get on motivation and, you know, motivational speeches that you can get, and I do encourage you to do it, just to build yourself up a little bit. We all need a little help. So, and we all go through the same things, because, you know, whether you want to believe it or not, we are all connected, and we all go through same things. It's just the situations vary, you know. Some are worse, some are a little bit easier. Some people have got a really, really hard life and they've had a hard upbringing, and some have had it a little bit easier. So we're all different, but we all have the same thoughts and doubts, you know. So believe in yourself. If you don't, nobody else will. I can guarantee you that. If you walk with a, with a proud sort of stature, and your back is straight, and you're walking like you own that place, people are going to look at you and think, wow, that's a proud person. That person is really confident. They'll look up to you. But if you're walking like depressed, miserable, you're just projecting that kind of energy. And you'll find that you will attract people who are like that. If you're a needy person, you will attract needy people. That's just how it works. I'm not talking about personal relationships or anything. I'm talking about friendships, whatever, people you see on the street. They just seem to be somehow attracted to each other. The energy just seems to be drawn to each other. So, like I said previously, I am not an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just speaking from my heart and from my experience. So, speaking from the heart, from the experience, and I want people to do well. I want to spread the love, and you can't spread the love and help other people if you don't believe in yourself, and if you don't believe and love yourself to at least a smaller degree, And some people will say, oh, I don't need to love myself. Or some people say, I love myself. But you can tell. Now you don't, because you're too critical. Give yourself a chance. Give yourself a break. So when it comes to art, going back to that, okay, I digressed a little bit, as I do. When it comes to art, just pour your heart out on that canvas or whatever you're painting on. I just met a person, not personally, over the internet, who paints on rocks. And I've done a couple of rock paintings, and it's very satisfying, but it's not my thing. But she does it, and she does it so well, and she's encouraging other people to do it, because it's a real, rocks, they're just so organic, obviously, and when you look at it realistically, a rock, even though it's hard, it's got the hardness. You can break a rock. If you get a big hammer or sledgehammer or something and whack that rock, you'll break it. So it's a bit like us, Rocks can break as well. So, I don't know, that's just how I think. I associate a lot with nature, anything, with trees, with plants, animals. I look and observe a lot, and try to find associations, trying to see how they work, how they, and animals, it's not going to be self-conscious and think, or I'm ugly, or you're ugly, they don't care. They just live. They just go by instinct. And it would be much, much easier if we weren't so critical towards other people and towards ourselves. And if you find somebody who is critical towards yourself, or if you see them, they're critical, criticizing people, other people around you, you can tell that they are very self-conscious and they have very low self-esteem, because otherwise they wouldn't be doing it. A confident person doesn't go around criticizing people. A confident person is quite happy to accept criticism from others. You just accept it. Thank you. It's your opinion, your perception on this. That's fine. So whenever you see somebody who is being overly critical and judgmental, you know that there's something going on inside them. Bullying, it's usually, you just want to... When my kids were bullied in school, oh my gosh, I just wanted to go and strangle those kids, how dare you. But I had to teach my kids and teach them to defend themselves. But never go and cause trouble first. But if you're cornered and people are kicking you and throwing rocks at you and things, you defend yourself, and I don't care what any principal of the school says. Okay, so that's just me, and a lot of people will be against that, but I don't believe in my child or any person or any person's child standing there while they're being beaten up. That's just not on. Okay, and that's what causes a lot of insecurities later on. So how did I get onto this again? In my head. Okay, so same thing goes for emotional bullies. You know, don't allow yourself to be beaten up emotionally. That's even worse than physical abuse. Every little negative comment, it adds up, it adds up, it adds up. And if you don't do anything about it, if you don't deal with it with that person or within yourself, it's just gonna, you know, it gets stored in the back of your brain, you know, in your subconscious mind. It gets stored in there, and it's fine. It could be fine for years and years and years, and then all of a sudden something will happen. Somebody will say something, and there'll be a trigger. You'll be triggered. You'll be brought right back to that moment where you felt this big, humiliated, and whatnot. Deal with it. You've got to deal with it straight away and start now. Don't wait. Okay, so this was not just a talk for artists. I just started off as that because I have a lot of artists who are very, very, you know, judgmental of their own artwork and other people's artwork, and I can see it, and you know, I talk to them and everything, but there are many people out there who are like this, and I just want you to know that there's no need for it. And love yourselves. Create something really, really awesome and beautiful, and look at it and just say, well, it's not my best work, but then what about Picasso? Or, you know, look at some other artists who did some really crazy abstract back then, and they were criticized for it, and they, you know, but you know, it's art, and it's amazing and very, very expensive. So, not saying that yours is going to be that expensive, but I'm just saying, I know mine isn't, that's for sure. If it was, I'd just sell one painting and then I'd go, you know, on a holiday for a year. Wouldn't that be wonderful? Oh dear. But look at your artwork and admire it. Find one thing that's good in it, even if it's a huge painting and everything looks terrible to you. Look for something that's nice, a little piece of pink or something that you say, I like that color. I really did that well. I preserved that pink there. You know, find something good, find something positive, and you pat yourself on the shoulder and say, right, well, I did that right, and then the next one's going to be even better. Another one thing that I want to say, now, people who are confident, if they, you know, everybody makes mistakes. If they make a mistake, they're not going to beat themselves up. They're just going to say, well, you know, I really stuffed up that time. But they start thinking in their heads, okay, what can I do to, you know, learn from this one, apply it to the next one, and try better. If the next one doesn't work out, you know, you keep going. You keep looking at, you know, your mistakes and fix it. That's how, you know, it's called progress. You know, that people didn't just invent, you know, TVs and computers just like that straight away. There was a lot of mistakes on the way, and that's just how it goes. And that is my message to you, my darling fellow artists and others. I love you all. That's all I'm going to say. Love yourselves. Bye for now. Okay. And, you know, of all day, you know, it's been peaceful and quiet. It's Sunday, and all of a sudden somebody decides to start mowing the lawn and whippersnipping around. Really? Anyway, I hope you can hear me. Are they going to stop? No.